Welcome to Poor Man's Astrophotography. My name's Eric. I'd like to talk to you about how to keep things, simple and, get into this hobby with not that much money. Don't get me wrong, it's still going to cost quite a bit, unfortunately. For the gear that I use for my main imaging now, it took me, a year to get all of it. And it's still not, where I want it to be, but it's getting there, so over the time, as it goes on, we'll get more and more, but in the meantime, I have what I have. So this right here is very basic. It's a Canon DSLR. It's a Canon XS Rebel 1000D. It's on a tripod here that's actually not even a telescope tripod. I bought this at a thrift store for $5, and it's actually used for mannequin heads, which is kind of funny. It is neat though. You can raise it up, lower it, and lock it in. I did buy a UB size ball head on it so I can move it around, because it was just, the little 1/4-inch screw that you can put in there, but now you can point it where you want it to go and lock it in, and you're good to go. This camera is very basic. You can go out there and shoot it like this, save it to an SD card, and not have to have it worried about hooking up to a laptop or anything. Just set your timer. Any shake of the camera is gonna create star trails. The downside of this is doing deep sky imaging is gonna be pretty hard. You're very limited on your exposure time by your lens size. There's a certain amount of time before you're going to start to get star trails, because the night sky moves. And without having a star tracker, you're going to run into that issue. This whole setup right here, I think I might be in $50. I got this with the kit lens, the DSLR and the kit lens for I think it was like $35-40 off of eBay, and it's worked phenomenal. It isn't modified, but it does, it does a good job for what it was doing when I was using it. So I still use it from time to time, not really for astro or anything, but it's still good for when you want to go out and shoot birds or whatever you want to do after that. That was a pretty good starter to see if you want to get into this hobby or not. See if you want to spend a little bit more money. But it works pretty well. I like that one. This was actually my very first telescope. Let me bring this in here. This is what started it all. I love it and I hate it at the same time. I didn't think that this right here was going to get me into where I'm at now, and how much I actually enjoy doing this hobby. I got this for Christmas last year, exactly a year from now, from today. It's cool. It's a go-to mount. It doesn't, it's not an equatorial mount, so it's, doing astrophotography with it doesn't really work out too well. It can be done, but it's very hard. What I did do, I ended up purchasing a mount that goes right on the eyepiece, and I had my phone in there, and I took a picture of the moon. As soon as I saw that picture on my phone of the moon, I was hooked. That was it. This is pretty cool. It's a Meade ETX 60 millimeter. Like I said, I got it for Christmas, but you can get these for used for $100 or so. You can find them on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, eBay, all that. But this is good for visual astronomy. I actually use this on the Great Conjunction. I had my neighbors all looking through it and everything, and my daughter, and everybody loved it. You can see the rings on Saturn, so it was pretty cool. It was pretty neat. We had a crowd going in the yard, so it was good seeing everybody enjoying what I enjoy. So it was cool. Let me get to move that out the way. Now this is my main imaging setup. All right, here it is. Like I said, this took me a year to get everything. I started off with, you know, this camera. I modified it, and shortly after that I started getting star trails. Once I started getting star trails, I was kind of bummed out, and you know, I was like, I'm gonna have to get something. The large equatorial mounts, they were a little bit out of my price range, so I did some research and I found the Skywatcher Star Adventurer, and actually seen somebody do a review on YouTube about it, and I was hooked from that point. I was like, all right, I'm gonna try that, and since I got it, I've loved it. I love this thing. I think I paid $450 for it. So like I said, I mean, you're gonna get into some money, but you know, we're trying to keep it cheap, and you know, this was the way to go. I think, you know, the only thing is, it is right ascension only, meaning it only swings this way, manual, you know, or you know, by itself. If I want to do my declination, it's manual. So that's the only thing that stinks. You do have a polar alignment that's built into it, which is pretty neat, and as you can see, you can mount a telescope on it. This is actually the Apertura 60 EDR with a field flattener on it. It's not a reducer. I think I'm getting 369 millimeters for my focal length out of it, with my camera and all. The camera is a Canon Rebel XS 1000D. It is astro modified. I did it myself. It was a lot cheaper. I believe the filter for it cost me, I want to say $50, somewhere in there. And it only took me a couple hours. I took my time, you know, made sure I didn't mess anything up, put it back together, you know, was real careful. There's videos on YouTube if you want to see how to do that. Try to save yourself a few bucks and just be careful. After that, I did have just my kit lens on here, but then I got that telescope, and I just recently bought the, let me see if I can turn this real quick, the ASI Air Pro with the ZWO 30mm f4 lens, and it came with the ASI 120mm mini monochrome camera for auto guiding. The auto guiding on the Star Adventure, it is not a must-have, but it will improve your game by a lot, you know, considerable amount. And I was getting, you know, 2-minute exposures. Sometimes I can push 3 if I got my polar alignment, you know, really nailed. And just the other night, I wanted to test it, you know, the ASI Air Pro on its polar alignment abilities, and with the ASI 120 mini, and it was insane. I pushed 10 minutes. My stars were sharp. No star trails, obviously. It was just awesome. So it was really cool. So that's my setup. I do have a CLS CCD filter inside of here, and that's gonna run you another, I think it was $100. Now, you know, you can find those off of a few of the astronomy or astrophotography websites, but just look around, you'll find them, you know, cheap from a few different places. So this is it, the tripod. It's a cheap tripod. It's made by UBsize, and I think I paid $50 for the tripod, so it could be sturdier. I do have an old car jump starter. It doesn't work anymore, but I put it on there for weight, and as you can see, my wiring, my cables, I gotta learn cable management. I'm not that good at it right now, but you know, we'll get it there. Oh, and a dew shield. Definitely need a dew shield. I live in Florida, Central Florida. It is humid a lot here, so keeping that dew off, you know, your lens is a you know, is a must. Otherwise, you're gonna run into all kinds of issues. One thing to save myself a few bucks is I made a bat knob mask myself out of paper, and I laminated it with tape. And I've had this thing probably about 4 or 5 months now. I use it every time I go out, and it's still working good. So, you know, you can find out how to make these, you can print them out, and that's what I did. And I just cut out the lines for it, and then I taped over it and, you know, fit it to my telescope. So Alright, we still have a couple hours left before I can actually get outside. I'm thinking about shooting the Rosette Nebula tonight. And just after 1 o'clock, it's going to rise above the trees in my yard to where I'm going to be able to shoot it. Unfortunately, the moon's out tonight, and it is quite bright, but it is going to be more west than the Rosette Nebula, so I'm hoping shooting into the east will help me out quite a bit, with that. We'll try to get some good data. So we'll see when we go outside. Thanks. Hey guys, welcome back. So I got my scope out. I got it polar aligned, and I found the satellite cluster, which is where the Rosette Nebula is. And let's see here, get the ASI air up and running. Let's see if you can see this here. Right there is the satellite cluster, and around there sits the Rosette Nebula. This was just my preview. I was trying to align it, so now we got everything aligned good. We're gonna pop the cap ever so carefully off of here. Hold on. Trying not to move it. And what we're gonna do is go into our guiding. Gonna make sure that's all clear. I run, can't really see it, 3-second exposures on it, looping. Alright, there's satellite cluster. If I hit this, it's just gonna find a star that it thinks is good. I don't have declination, so that's off. And we're gonna pick this star right here. Let's try this one. Come on. On the peaks like that, that's perfect. So now we're gonna lock it in. Confirm. Nope. No, it's not connected. We'll turn that on. Here we go. Now we can lock it in. And what this is doing is calibrating to the mount here. Sorry, I'm being quite quiet. It's pretty close to my neighbor's house, and it's pretty late tonight. This does take a minute. It's probably gonna go to 14 or so, and then go back east. So we'll give that a second. Oh, it's already going back east. That's good. Now, if we did have the declination, it would take a lot longer, so it's got to calibrate that as well. Sorry about the sniffling. It is cold tonight, and it's one of the coldest nights in Florida. It's in the 30s. So we had a strange warning out about iguanas falling out of trees. You can't really see it. There's a bunch of trees up here, but hopefully we'll be all right. All right, auto guiding is started. Okay, we're gonna do a preview here of 2 minutes, and we'll see what that does, and we'll be right back. All right, that frame, that 2-minute sub is done, and look at the nebulosity. You can see in there already. That's just one subframe, so that looks pretty good. Stars look good. All right. So what we're gonna do here, looks good. We're gonna change it from preview and go into auto run. And
Let's set this. Delete. We're gonna change that from flame star. How do I delete? Oop, there it is. To rosette. We're gonna do 2-minute subs. And we're gonna shoot for 60 of them. Okay, and after that, we're gonna add our darks. And we'll run 15 of those. Let's go back. And once I hit that, now it's up and running. So we'll let that go for a while. We'll check it every once in a while just to make sure everything's running good. What's nice with the ASIA Pro, I can bring this in the house and check it from in there, so that's kind of good. I can go inside where it's warm. So that's pretty much it, guys. And then we get to the stacking and all that. And after I do that, I'll post it to the end of this video. I'm not going to bring you through my stacking process yet. It's still less than par, but we, maybe we'll do a video on that. And if you guys want to give me tips and see what I know, then we can go from there. All right. Thanks, guys. Clear skies.